What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Lions video, and welcome back to yet another underrated sleeper prospect. Now, over the past couple of weeks, we've done a lot of different sleepers. We've done a lot of different players, and most of them have been from the secondary. And today, I wanted to focus on an edge rusher, a guy that plays on the defensive line, a guy that plays in the front four, front seven, wherever you want to put him. I mean, he's a versatile guy. He's a guy that can play a lot of different positions, and just like the past couple of prospects we've taken a look at, he has incredible athletic upside. Now, this player is Milton Williams, the defensive end out of Louisiana Tech. He's a guy that is projected to go anywhere from the 4th round to the 7th round, and is a guy that the Lions could be looking at as a late round sleeper. Now, before we get into the video and before we get into this new edge rusher, if you're new to the channel and you're enjoying the content, please consider liking the videos and subscribing to the channel. It takes just 2 seconds out of your day to do so. It's quick, free, and easy, and you would be helping the channel a lot more than you could possibly know. So if you could do that, take those 2 seconds to like and subscribe. And if you do enjoy the content and you want to find a way to support the channel that much more while receiving daily extra perks, you could always become a member of the channel as well. But with that being the case, and with all of that being said, let's get into this sleeper edge rusher in Milton Williams. Now, as I said, today we are going to be talking about a sleeper edge rusher that I found out of Louisiana Tech in Milton Williams. Now, Milton has been a 2-year player, has really had 2 years of really solid production at Louisiana Tech. In 2019, in his sophomore campaign, he played in 12 games, totaled 59 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, 5.5 sacks, 1 pass defended, as well as 2 fumble recoveries. And then the year after, in his junior season in the year 2020, he followed it up by playing in 10 games for the Bulldogs, having 45 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks, and 1 fumble recovery. He was actually on pace to be more efficient in his junior year than he was in his sophomore campaign. And every single year he gets better. Every single year he has improved. Every single year he has become more efficient, refined his skills, refined his tools to go along with his tremendous athletic ability and tremendous athletic potential. Now, Milton Williams stands at 6'4", 278 pounds at the edge rusher position. He is a very athletic player and has a lot of athletic promise. He comes in with a RAS score of 9.96, making him very similar to Marco Wilson at his position, making Milton Williams the most athletic defensive end in the class, making him the most athletic edge rusher in this class solely based off the RAS scores. Now, at his pro day, he was really good. He stole the show at the Louisiana Tech pro day, putting up 34 reps on the bench, having a 38.5-inch vertical jump at 278 pounds, had a 10-foot broad jump, which was really impressive, and had a 40 time of 4.67 seconds, which is really good for a guy of his size and weight, and then had a 3-cone drill time of 6.96, which again, for a guy of his size and his stature, was a really good time. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, Milton Williams is a sleeper prospect that has been projected to go anywhere from rounds 3 to round 7. I've seen him go as high as the middle of the 3rd round, and I've also seen him drop as far as the early 7th round pick. So, I mean, there's a wide range of variety. There's a wide range of where this player could go, and there's a wide range of different schemes, different fits, and different places that Milton Williams could go and be successful at the next level. Now, with Louisiana Tech, he did play both defensive tackle and defensive end. He was kind of kicked outside, kicked inside. He was moved around the defensive line a lot, and no matter where he played, he was relatively effective at everything. However, I thought he was more effective as an interior pass rusher more so than a strict pure edge rusher. However, as I said, he has that versatility to move everywhere on the defensive line. He's been healthy all 3 years of college. He did not really miss a lot of significant time, did not have a big significant injury. So he is healthy. He is available for the team. He's versatile. He can rotate in for pretty much any position and be relatively effective at each and every one. Now, a couple of things that I really like about Milton Williams, a couple of things that he is very good at. He is a very polished run defender. He does use leverage very well. He's very good at that. He's good at using his hands on run defending. He's good at getting the guy, he's good at reaching out out and grabbing the running back. Like, he is a really good, really polished run defender, and with his athletic ability, with his power, with his strength, with his speed, he is able to get a lot of tackles for loss. He is able to be a really solid, really stout run defender, and did not allow a lot of players, did not allow a lot of running backs to get past him, and did not allow a lot of offensive linemen to push him around in his last 2 seasons. Now, along with that, he does have a very high football IQ. There's a lot of plays where he just makes a very smart decision. It's not always the flashiest thing, but whether it be setting the edge or just knowing when to shed the block, which way to shed the block, how to get around a certain player, what moves to use, like, he is a really good, really smart football player, and that is something that showed up immediately. So a guy with his ability, a guy with his athletic ability, his athletic potential, a guy with a high football IQ, and a guy that actually has really good hands and really good technique as a run defender is a guy that should go relatively high in the draft, right? He's a guy that, as I said, could go as early as the 3rd round of the NFL draft, midway to the end of day 2. However, there are a couple of concerns that could cause him to fall out, could cause him to fall down to day 3, early day 3, or maybe even at the latest a round 5 or 6 selection. The one thing that I did notice while watching him, and was one thing that I was actually really surprised about, was he's not actually that explosive off the line. For a guy with his athletic ability, for a guy with his speed, his power, his testing numbers would tell you that he was an explosive athlete, and when he actually gets moving, he is really explosive. He is really fast, really strong, really powerful once he actually gets moving. But for one reason or another, his get up off the line is not incredibly impressive. He's actually a tick slower than a majority of his teammates, and for whatever reason, he can't quite seem to get it right. I don't know if it's a timing thing. I don't know if it's literally just a physical limitation. I don't know if it's just a processing thing, but for whatever reason, although it seems as though he should be a really, really explosive athlete off the defensive line, he does not get off. He does not have an explosive get off like you would expect to see for a guy of his athletic ability and for a guy with his athletic potential. Now, as I said, once he actually does get moving, once he does get up off the line, he is a really good player. He is relatively polished. Doesn't have the greatest pass rush moves, but is really good at run defending. As I said, very polished run defender, very smart, knows when to shed the blocks, knows which way to shed the blocks, knows how to manipulate the blocker to kind of force the running back one way or another. Like, he is a really smart, really good run defender who has all the ability to become and develop into a really good pass rusher for the Detroit Lions. Now, Milton Williams is not a guy that I think the Lions should take early in the draft. I think if you see him at the 3rd round, you have to pass on him. And even on day 3, right? Even on the 3rd day of the draft, if you're picking at round 4, I think he would be, that's probably his range, right? The 4th round, I would say, is probably really good value for Milton Williams. And I would say day 2, the 3rd round of the NFL draft, is just a little bit of a reach. So if the Lions do end up getting him in the 4th round, if he does somehow fall to day 3, and if he does eventually and inevitably fall out of the 2nd day of the draft, I do think he'd be a very good pickup on day 3. He has a lot of skills, has a lot of potential, isn't necessarily the greatest pass rusher, isn't necessarily going to get you the flashiest numbers, but if you need a young guy, a young stud on your defensive line to help you with run defense and eventually and show you some athletic potential with his pass rush game, Milton Williams is a guy that you should be looking at. He has all the potential. He is a ball of clay prospect, if you want to call him that. He has the tools, he has the skills, even his biggest problem, his explosiveness off the line, is something that he should be able to fix, right? You would think with all of his athleticism, he should have an explosive get off and an explosive first step, and that's just not something that he has. However, even without being the most explosive guy off the line, he does get a lot of tackles for loss, does get a lot of penetration. He does stay healthy, which is a big thing I know a lot of Lions fans like, because we've had so many injuries over the past couple of seasons. And overall, Milton Williams is just a really, really good football player. He's not going to be necessarily the best at anything in the NFL, and he's not even probably going to be the best on the team at any one particular skill, but he has very few weaknesses. He's a guy that on day 1 could come in, be a special teams contributor, be a rotational guy, and over the next couple of years, over 2-3 seasons, he can develop. He comes in with a good starting skill set, and with the new defensive line coach, with our new defensive line coaches, we should be able to mold him. We should be able to develop it into something that can be a constant threat on Sundays and should be able to turn him into the product that all of his potential shows that he can be. Now, with that being the case, that is all I have for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think about this edge rusher. Let me know what other sleepers you may like to see in this class. Unfortunately, this is the last sleeper prospect, as the draft is just a few days away, and we already have some other content planned for the next couple of days. However, if I missed a sleeper, if there are other sleepers that you would like to see or you want me to keep an eye out for in this NFL draft, of course, leave them down in the comments and let me know know what you think about Milton Williams. But with that being the case, that's all I got for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. If there's Lions news or Lions rumors do come out, of course, a video will be made upon it. But with that being said, and without any further ado, that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you all so very much for watching the video. And as always, and until next time, go Lions.